everybody. Going live with some stuff here. Doing some Fantasy Star Online tonight. And I'm going to be joined here by the guys from Work to Game pretty soon here. I'm going to bring them in. And we should be able to get started. Don't know why my camera's not showing up on the stream. That's a little odd. Is my camera not turning on? What's going on? Let's see here. Sorry, I don't know why my camera's not coming on. Oh well. It happens, so we'll just deal. We will just deal.
The numbers yet. We'll be working on it.
Hey guys.
For Samurai?
Yeah.
Overall, it's a little bit, like, the damage numbers is a little bit of a nerf, but it's overall a buff because you can get Shohas off now, like, consistently. Like, you don't have to sit there and wait.
What do you mean? I think that's part of my problem with Final Fantasy 14 is for me, coming from WoW, everything seems overcomplicated. How everything ties into, certain skills tie into other skills.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand what.
Well, it's the ability I'm talking about is the thing where you would charge it like the meditate stacks.
So
then you could use
you're talking about when I use Hake and then go into my Junpo.
I am glad they switched that.
So what did they change there?
So instead of using,
they changed the requirement in order to use the one special ability that they have from 5 to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a lot easier to get them instead of just using meditate.
Okay, I'm confused.
So instead of having to use the meditate skill to get meditate stacks,
see, and I don't know what you're talking about when you say meditate, because I don't think I used any of those.
So meditate was the thing that you would stack up to build up, like to a specific skill, and it had the stacks. Now you can still do that and only have to do it 3 times, but also doing your combos will generate meditate stacks, which ultimately then have you being able to do that skill by doing your rotation anyway.
Okay. Right. Hey Brian, you're in PSO, right?
Yeah, I'm in right now. I just got my subclass.
Nice.
We're gonna look at my stats. Stats.
So underneath the map, there should be a like a ship code.
I'm in B003 extra hard.
B003 extra hard. Okay, I gotta go switch. I do that a lot. I'm sorry.
Well, it just reminded me of the old Sesame Street.
You said 003 extra hard?
Oh, I see you're online.
I'm on 003 hard.
Well, extra hard for some reason. I see you online. I'm trying to see here. How can I visit team room? I can't invite you to team? Okay.
I'm going to be joining.
Yeah, I would need to be added to the team first to be able to visit the team room.
I don't see an invite to team option.
So, Brian, are they going to do crossplay with PC and Xbox?
For PS4 or PSO?
No, PSO2?
Yes.
Oh, hold on.
Right out of the gate.
Hold on, I'm coming.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm coming over to your block.
That's why I'm playing this now, so I can... Oh, good, I'm level 9 subclass. Oh, there you are. How do I select you?
You.
I'm just trying to think how I select you with the controller.
Okay. You don't really. So
I can click on you.
what you can do is if you go to your menu, and then the community tab, there's a button that says nearby characters.
All right, here's a team invite.
I will be joining you, but I'm still waiting.
No worries.
44%.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
All right, what do we want to crush?
Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, Brian, once you get, you remember we're doing high level stuff when.
Yeah, I've been doing it all on hard mode right now.
What level are you right now?
20, 25, and then now I'm subclass 9. I went with 4 subclass.
Okay.
Your subclass levels, when you get.
I'm gonna do all these ones that I haven't done yet.
Your subclass levels when you get XP when you're the main class.
28. What is my subclass level? Hunter 28, Fighter 15.
All right.
So we should be able to crush just about anything.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Woo.
Dang. I bet that's going to drive the environmentalists crazy.
Oh yeah, what happened?
The Capitol Christmas tree removed due to damage. The tree was found to be damaged and deemed unsafe.
All right.
What?
So they have to go cut down another one and bring it to Sacramento from Shasta County, which is up in Redding. So it's about a 2 to 3 hour drive. But yeah.
Who would consider Christmas until December 1st?
So what did you go into?
I got friends that start putting Christmas trees, decorating their house the day after Halloween.
Wow.
It don't matter, and I'm like,
I wait till after Thanksgiving.
Oh, I'm like, I called him the other day. I was like, so, you know what today is, don't you? He's like, what's that? It's called Work Your Butt Off Day because you're putting up all your Christmas decorations. Dude, how? How do you know me so well?
Did you invite me to a party?
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Did you go jump in the portal?
So I can either go to the camp.
Can you not see the group?
No, it's saying I'm still by myself.
Let me leave then.
Yeah. When I go to jump into the camp ship, it's just like, hey, what exploration do you want to do?
Okay, one second.
Will Phantasy Star 2 go to level 80 right off the get-go for us?
Yep.
Yes.
That's not even the highest level, apparently.
Well, then, apparently, the game's got an insane ton of content.
They just released episode 6 not too long ago.
All right, let me
just released what?
Episode 6.
I don't know what that means.
That's like the story stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, let me re-invite you. Invite to partake, and
yeah, Ryan, you're gonna have to do your level cap.
I'll almost be when I'm kind of on 30, so yeah, I'll have to
join party.
Cap. Okay,
there we go.
I need to reinstigate the quest, and we'll do ruins exploration on normal.
Yeah, because you weren't showing up
at
the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, run to the thing. Maybe I jumped into maybe you have to zone in and then we can jump into the water.
Yeah.
I can't leave the level.
Okay, cool. Now we're both here. All right, I'm gonna jump in the water.
The level caps is in the 90s nowadays.
What's that?
Level caps 90.
Obi-Wan asks if we're on ship 2, and yes, we are.
Yes.
Sorry, it took me a minute to see the chat there.
You're good.
I'm so used to nobody being in chat.
Where are you streaming?
Twitch, YouTube, and Mixer.
Can you stream on all the same things at the same time?
As long as
Yes.
you're not affiliated on Twitch, yeah.
I want this weapon.
So Brian, you really called it right back in July, or actually June, when you called it Year of the Shadow.
Yeah, I know.
He
I'm like, all right. Now, wait, Shadowlands? Like, what's happening?
That just makes me laugh. What was you like, Brian, when it got announced, though, initially?
Yeah, I was like, huh? Okay. Like, and it continues. Like, Year of the Shadow.
Hey
It's gonna
guys.
run all. It's all the right. It's running all the way until next year.
Oh yeah, guys. I'll talk to you in a little bit. My buddies are here going to help me put up the computer. I will take pictures.
I can't wait to see pictures,
Dude,
man.
this thing's gonna look awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you, man.
Okay, I'll talk to you guys in a little bit.
All right, how we going?
Bye.
Wait, what did he say? Computer?
Yeah, he got
Yeah.
a computer that's also a desk. So it was like, I think it's a stand-sit desk with like real high-powered stuff. So I'm excited.
That's pretty cool. I pre-ordered my Pokemon.
Nice.
What's up?
I pre-ordered Pokemon.
You're playing Pokemon?
No, I pre-ordered it.
Great. I have yet.
Sword.
I have yet to.
I went for Sword.
What's up?
Why am I
I
not
went for
attacking
sword.
anything?
Oh, cool. I'm thinking probably I'm gonna go Shield. Just because I've like a lot of people in chat were like Sword. I was like, oh. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it on that day because on the 22nd the baby's gonna be here.
It's not on the 22nd. Oh yeah.
The 15th. Yeah, like I don't have, I don't get paid till next month. So
Yeah, Cast is definitely the best race.
It's
Oh, yeah.
getting-
oh wow, look at that.
Ooh, we got stuff.
Oh, pocket of treasure.
Anything good? Sonic Arrow.
Oh, they added a new character to Smash today.
Another one?
Well, the one they
Yeah,
announced.
Terry Bogard came out today.
Cool.
Let's try
So many things I'm behind on.
He feels really good.
I was talking with Chris that we're planning on our content schedule for the next couple. I think we ended up like have 50 videos that we want to make, and it's like, okay, like Chris, I'm gonna be able to make like 2 videos, like counting the podcast. So the podcast plus 1 video a week. You know, so it's like so we were prioritizing what I'm gonna work on, and at the same time, I forgot where this story was going, but there we go, the end. It was
The end.
something I thought it was interesting, but
Ooh,
I forgot it.
you leveled up.
Yeah, that was my subclass, level 10.
Nice.
It's a good way to level up the jobs if I can just subclass them
Oh yeah.
and switch. Is there any penalty to switching?
No.
Is
I
there
don't
any disadvantage
think.
to the subclass? Can I get it like all the way to 30?
Yeah, you can get the
can.
subclass all the way to max.
Well, that's
Yeah.
epic. And you get all the bonuses of that?
So there's like a 10% bonus that you get from the subclass,
Okay.
as long as it's equipped as your sub.
Okay.
But the thing is that if you equip a lower level subclass,
Mm-hmm.
or say you switch it up and do opposite of what you're doing now. So you do Tekker as your main, and then Hunter. Oh, it froze
Yeah.
me. And then Hunter as your sub. You're only gonna get as much of a percentage as your lowest class. It's like a 10%
Oh, okay.
increase or something like that to your stats.
Hold on. My little mag's hungry.
Oh crap.
You won't lose, I think. It's pretty much all the XP you get will be gone to your subclass as well.
Yeah, you're still gonna gain the XP for both classes.
Like you get the level, you take the level cap off, it goes off on all the classes.
Yeah.
It's Final Fantasy Meister.
Unite.
Yeah, I think that I think Square and Yoshi P are working on the new game. I just can't shake it. I had that feeling last year. I don't know if 5.0 will be kind of the narrative end of 14, or if it'll be 6.0. But I just cannot shake the feeling that I think they're working on a new MMO. I know they are. But I'm just saying, like, I think maybe it'll be out sooner than I thought.
So my mag stats, actually my mag is at level 200.
Nice.
I think I kind of balanced it out between strength, ranged, attack, and everything like that. So it's not doing too bad.
Yeah, I think you were sharing like mag building guides and
You
class
can
guides.
go,
Yeah, I shared a couple things on the Discord.
you can make your mag go like a different way depending on what you feed it.
Yeah.
Mine can summon this weird like looking creature. It's weird.
I want to get the only way I can get it is from doing scratch offs. But
Yeah.
if you've watched Fairy Tale,
Yeah.
there's actually a skin that you can do to make it happy from Fairy Tale.
Huh.
Oh nice.
So that's the one I want to get.
Oh yeah. I've also been playing Luigi's Mansion 3.
My daughter wants to play that one.
Which one?
Luigi's Mansion.
3.
I can't hear either of you, by the way. Like, y'all both speaking very softly.
Luigi's Mansion 3.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Mags, according to Obi-Wan, Mags is supposed to be only one stat. So I could re-tech it, or respec it.
Yeah, and they say they sell other mags, but they're expensive or something. I'm like, all right.
30 mil
I'm
for
not worried
the.
about spending money here or like being the most efficient. I just need to. I want to understand all the systems, how they work, how they relate, so that when the game comes out in the spring, I can be ready.
Oh yeah.
Mags are so good though, because it's like they give you an advantage, but they're also good for throwing stuff away.
Yeah. You could just feed them whatever items you don't want.
But you're not just throwing the stuff away, you're literally giving them more power to the knife. So it's really nice.
Yeah, and if it's
That's
like.
what I said, like, that's when I was playing Anthem. I was like, oh man, Anthem could totally use a mag system or something in which that you're like all this stuff that's basically useless has
Right.
value, and it's like, okay.
Oh my god. By the way, when I saw that Diablo 4 trailer, I was like, whoa, this is dope.
Yeah.
Like the way he was it like a pentagram out the guts? Oh my god.
Oh, subclass leveled up. Nice.
It was nuts, dude. I was like, and it's a lot of fun.
Like in the crowd when
What's up?
what was everyone like in the crowd when Diablo 4?
Oh, I think everybody was cheery. You know, like the general mood, like despite the issues with Hong Kong, you know, generally positive. And the protesters were real peaceful too. So it was, I think it was a really good. It was a good showing.
But did it shock you when they tried to apologize?
Wow.
No, I'm glad he did it first.
But some people actually are not taking that apology very well.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what side to be on.
I always
I
like
guess
when
I'm.
I talk to you, Star, because it's like I'm betting he didn't see this video.
Ooh,
But
he's
the
cool.
question is did YouTube recommend it to him? I have no idea.
Oh no, that's the
Chris
thing.
and I like dove into it.
I
You guys hear about IGN changing their scores or something like that? Chris was saying he watched Layman, and like IGN is like just like phoning it in on reviews. Y'all see that yet?
Nah, I didn't see that one yet.
Okay.
Or they changing the reviews.
Like they're like playing it on easy. They're not like really beating the games. And then essentially, like when they get called out on it, they like, oh, our bad, and they adjust the score because they're not really accounting for like all the things. And it's like, so I need to watch. I haven't watched Layman yet. Like Chris was telling me about it. I was like holy crap! Like, but that's what they're doing. Like, they're a joke site in my mind. Then,
No.
you know, like that means like seriously, don't trust any of these sites' reviews. Like
Oh, no.
it hurts them immensely.
I feel terrible now.
Why?
No, because I was like looking at, and I just saw your videos. They're not popping up for me.
They're not popping up for you? That does not
Yeah.
surprise me.
Like that. Like I just thought. I just went on looked normally, and they're just not popping up in my recommendations or anything.
That's not a
I'll
shocker.
take that.
That's
I'll
how
take
it's
that.
felt over the last couple of months.
Okay, so Obi-Wan here seems to be very knowledgeable about what's going on with the Fantasy Star stuff.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he's saying that we're better off playing the PC Japan server if we want some of the cosmetic stuff because the Western release is gonna be missing like 85% of it.
Oh really? What's the source?
Uh, yeah, what's the source there, Obi-Wan?
It's always good to have a source. God, now it's trying to do another download. What the hell? Oh, there we go.
I need the Rising Edge.
Sweet. I can cure. Cast lightning. Cast some spells, baby.
You got your heal on you now?
I do.
Nice.
Hey, buddy.
So how?
I do not know how to upgrade my weapons. It's telling me upgrade your weapon once. I'm like, okay.
I can go show you. Let me
Alright,
get to
I'm
the
gonna grab
lobby
this
and I
guy.
can show you.
Hey, Jay. Hey, Lee.
Hey Lee.
Hello.
1 second,
Hey.
Julie's calling me.
Yep, all good.
Can
I
say
may have
hello
heard
to
one
you?
of the worst jokes earlier.
Yeah. What joke?
When does a joke become a dad joke?
Don't know.
When it's apparent.
Oh god.
Boo.
I said it was bad.
It's a cringy one though. Yeah.
It's a dad joke.
It's definitely a dad joke.
I also found a group of people who told me to go to hell because I ended up being able to solo a dungeon while they kept dying.
That's on them.
Oh, that sucks.
At least I got used to soloing it.
What do I do?
The internet.
What?
He asked what he do. What he to do. The internet. There's
No, I'm
plenty of
just
stuff to
wondering
do
what
on
I
the
should
internet.
do.
Level up your lowest leveled class.
No, I mean I haven't been playing Final Fantasy as much lately as I should. Oh, strength. Oh, Spada.
I guess.
A
You do sound tired.
Welcome to the party.
Party what party?
I'm back.
Cool.
Hey, Ryan.
Spada's here.
Apparently he
Hey,
uses
Sparta.
5 different discords, with a whole bunch of different links, and he's getting somewhere around 80 to 90% cosmetics will be missing along with all previous anime collabs.
Okay.
Like Persona 5 and all.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian.
Yo.
Doing all the crafting changes, I'm leveling my crafters.
Nice.
I will say this. The whole, like, where you can see the recipe tree, there's one issue with it. That it literally, it makes garland tools a better tool than the recipe tree.
Okay.
Let's say you need to craft 4 of the same item. You have to literally add it outside of the game to figure out how many items you need to get.
Okay.
It does not say, oh yeah, I need 4 of this item. Oh no, it only shows you 1.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than what it was.
Yeah. I mean, the EXP is amazing. Like, I'm capped on all my crafts. And,
Oh, you already capped?
all of them are done. They're all done.
I'm going slow. I'm doing 1 a day, 1 level a day for every craft. I'm level 72. But I'm also only playing for like 4 hours.
Okay. It took me about 20 minutes. So
Yeah, I'm also not buying it. I'm not
Yeah.
buying all the. I'm actually crafting.
You're good. I did not lose a penny. I made about 5 million in profit by doing it my way. So
Nice.
Yeah, I'm losing when I go and buy, or I'm literally still losing money right now.
I always just targeted to whatever like the craft that etc. But
Well, I'm
you
also
know,
crafting high quality so
that's
that I
nice.
can save. So I'm literally
And the
spending about
gathering
$1 million.
side, I'm gonna see if I can't finish that off by
I was
next week.
done with gathering in like 3
I haven't
days.
really touched it. I've been just I like doing that, and then I'm working on my red mage guide, and working on white mage. I might switch over to 14 here in a little bit.
I did that new raid.
What's up?
I did the 24 man.
What'd you think?
So good. It's so good. The
I'm in
music.
the next. I'm in the staging area. Sora, whatever you're free.
Yeah,
The
I'm
music's
good.
just so fantastic.
Yeah,
I
I
did
still
hear
kind of
I
feel
I
like
realize my
that it's
mic's
kind of
quiet. I'm
unfinished,
just using
honestly.
the
What's up?
The near raid,
mic
I still
off
kind of
my
feel like
headset.
something's
I'm getting
missing, like
a new
something
microphone
might
for
change in
Christmas.
the next one.
I mean, like in the 5.3 one, or like it's in another
What
patch,
I
like they do
like
they
how
change
we
it up.
were allowed to actually search through. I think
Yeah,
the doors at the end are going to open.
that's possible.
Uh,
The doors at the end lead to the final area.
No, like there's doors on the side that are locked.
And I don't think so. I mean, we've had them kind of like throw away little things in all the raids, and they've never gone back.
I think the only reason
I just
things feel like they're missing is because we have to go to. We still got the next 2 ones, so I think we need to fill it out.
Yeah, like
true.
we got a whole year before they finish that thing.
Yeah, a year, almost a year and a half.
Yeah, it's not gonna be done until
Because the
I
next
was
patch.
gonna say I do hope that
once.
they do eventually manage to patch one thing into it though.
like what?
Apparently the glamour set that drops from it,
Mm-hmm.
people can keep re-rolling on the glamour set,
I've
even if
noticed
they
that.
already won it.
Huh.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
still gotta
like,
go and get everything in there.
because I got the 2 orchestrion rolls.
I hope. I actually feel like the last boss should have been the second to last boss.
Where'd you go? There you are. Oh no.
Hey, Brian, since you
Yeah.
were you crafting everything, or were you just buying the stuff?
So
Actually,
we got another
neither.
guy with us there, Brian.
What's up?
Neither.
So we got another
Yeah,
buddy
like
with us.
I got it gifted most of it. And then I
Oh,
crafted the rest. That's the
Yeah,
first time though, because like every other time like that, I always just kind of
Mm.
crafted it and turned in based
Yeah,
off of like. That's why I always saved it for the end.
yeah.
It was like
I'm
that's
just trying to figure out a way to, because like I have not found a macro that's not. Oh yeah, here's an end game macro, a level 80 macro. Oh yeah, we don't care if you were leveling still. No, we're just dealing with a level 80 macro.
Oh, dude, the guy that's running around with us is Obi-Wan.
Does anyone join in the party?
There's usually
Yeah,
one
you
for
want in the
level
party, bro?
70 and 75.
But that's the thing, they just changed
He's
everything. I
moving
mean,
around
like
too quick.
the
True.
crafting changes literally. I mean, they are massive. I also
Where'd
say,
he go?
Dude,
Oh,
he
here's
is
the door open.
bolting all
I
over
looked
the place.
ahead. I kind of looked ahead, and I looked at my level 80 skill because someone said like, look at the level 80 skill, and I was like, the F, really
Yeah, the level 80 skill is
broken.
broken.
What class are you playing,
Yeah, the only
Obi-Wan?
one I could even get close to level 80 right now is my goldsmith.
I'll
the
tell
rest
you
are
right now, your level 80
pretty low.
skills.
You're saying
like,
Durandal is God darn it, he's running around.
because basically, if no one's ever looked, level
Right,
80
right.
skills basically reads this.
Oh.
It's not. It's literally. It's called train die. Increases quality by 100%.
So,
What?
Obi-Wan, do
Yeah.
you want in the party with us?
Basically, it's
I sent him
guaranteed
the
HQ.
invite.
Oh,
Guaranteed A2.
He's
Only
welcome to come hang out
caveat.
on Discord for sure.
The only caveat: available only on the first step. Recipe must be at least 10 levels below
There he
yours.
is.
So it's guaranteed HP for anything Heaven's Word or Stormblood and earlier.
I've seen the markets and certain things
That
just
is
bottom out
broken
as of all these changes.
Yeah.
Oh, crafting is broken. Like, I agree with Chris, except for the fact that like I don't never found crafting to have a value. So it's like,
I'm the same way. I don't like the only thing that has a value for it is, oh yeah, we can make millions of dollars because we're gonna hold on. We're gonna not tell people about this little trick, and oh yeah, let's go make millions on crafting something
Judgment.
that literally took us 10 minutes to do.
well, I mean, if more people get on it, then they're not going to make millions, and so it's the market will respond. You know,
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see. Like I've got like some ass reflex today or
And
something.
there's also the level 78 skill is also kind of pretty OP. I'm looking at it now.
Dude, Obi-Wan is just flying through everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm right now just working on leveling a bard.
How you like it?
I'm currently at like 73, but I'm only leveling up via trust system now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Else than the kind of darn minimum of AoEs for some, and being stuck with timers all the time on it, it's good. Because I hate the 60-second timer.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't care for the darn skill Iron Jaw. I know it's just a dot reset, but still.
Did your subclass level up again?
I did.
Nice.
I'm almost to 26 on my main.
And I hate the changes to desynthesize. Well, desynthesis.
You can just synthesize anything now.
Uh-huh. I hate it.
Oh,
it's
dead.
gross. Yeah.
I hate it.
The only thing that's good about it is that items don't drop on the dungeon floor anymore. You know?
You can actually do it for... You can level up via using the dungeons from Shadowbringers.
Right, I'm just saying that, like, instead of having things drop to the ground, they don't drop.
Yeah.
There's no value in not rolling on it, at least. So it's
Ooh,
like
rare
I'm
rappy.
just like gathering. I'm just grabbing stuff and just breaking it down, grabbing it, breaking it down, going and looking at how much the material lists, and now it lists under vendor. I'm like, okay. So
it just made me kind of sad because I had actually not even looked at the patch notes, and then I looked at it on the day of the patches, and I was like, I just got it to max.
yeah.
Where'd everybody go?
And then essentially, what will be interesting to see.
I'm like, we sort of knew like
Fire
back
attack
like a
boost
month or
omen.
two ago that they were making this change. They basically
that
announced
assumes that people were following every news update.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I was trying not to follow it just to get surprised by stuff.
There's certain games that I'm like,
well,
what was it?
Surprised.
Recently, there was one game that I was like, oh, don't tell me about it. I'm just gonna play it. Can't remember what it was. So it was just kind of like, but yeah, like I get it. So there's, it's funny how many people like bashed Chris for his video and then came back after the change and were like, oh wow, you're right. This isn't amazing, you know.
I don't agree with Chris's. Like, if his opinion, I don't agree with it because.
Why?
Because I feel like it's a good thing that they're doing this now. Because, like, yeah, I wish they had done this 2 years ago, 3 years, 4 years ago. Because people are coming in now. People are coming in Heavensward and saying, "Oh yeah," and being told, "Oh yeah, it's a 5-7 day process just to get the level cap, where you're worth anything," and that's literally only being able to grind crafting. And you know what they say?
What is
Yeah,
it?
no. I don't want to. I want to be able to play the game, but I also want to be able to do this. But I don't want to have to spend
Oh,
all my time
I'm stuck in a
just
wall.
getting to that cap.
So what if we just start like handing out like Savage Raid gear with the roulette?
That is different.
Is it?
You're pretty closely saying the same thing on that one.
No, I'm not. Crafting and Savage Raids are completely, literally. Here's crafting at the floor. Savage Raids is the sky.
So I mean, the only reason why the crafting change doesn't necessarily bother me is because you can't craft high end gear. You know,
True.
so it's like, all right, like they want it to be for everybody. Okay, cool. Now the thing we don't know about crafting is what role the rebuilding of Ishgard is going to play. So for like, let's say the D Matera thing, right? Before it was, depending on the Matera, like the Matera, like they were, like it was really good when you got one of those. Right now they're selling below vendor, but like if the rebuilding Vishgard says we need 50 million D
Where?
Matera, then that's going to help market correct. So
Yeah,
that's the
trust
thing.
me, I've been enjoying them being below, because then I can just sell them to the market and get more.
Well, you can sell them to market or more, and so or the question is that like if the new system says, hey, use these things, then the value
Where
will
am I
go back up
going?
as well. So it's like it's gonna be interesting what happens. We don't know though, so that happens on Tuesday.
Honestly, I
Dude, I
kind
think I'm just
of
going in
think
circles right
Mage's
now.
Ballad is a little bit on the broken side.
Too powerful?
Yeah.
Good. I'm really glad they did that to Bard.
Yeah, because it's a damage dealt
How?
is increased
What
when you're
is
using
going
Mage's
Where
on?
are
Ballad.
you guys? I have not seen y'all for a
I,
while. I'm
yeah,
finding weird square bosses and
I'm trying to find you at the moment. I found the next area, and it sounded like there was a
another
dude.
like mini boss. This place
Oh,
is nuts.
jeez. Oh, it's this.
Oh, now it's a dragon. Oh,
Now
good.
it's the
Y'all are gonna
dragon.
go. Oh
Be
shoot!
careful, that may take a little while.
Ow.
May be dragging on.
There you go.
Why is he in a box? Get out of the box.
I'm right
There,
now,
he did.
every item I'm picking up is lower than the stuff I already have, so I'm just desynthesizing on the way.
Yeah. Oh
All
yeah.
right.
Downtime. Like, all right, I cleaned out so much stuff that I just had. I was like, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Get rid of it.
Yeah. Well, I'm also trying to level up the darn trust system at the same time.
I gotta
Okay.
remember which way I'm going. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I honestly
following
don't know
you.
how to feel about the trust system.
Well, the trust system, New Game Plus. These are systems that make it feel like they're preparing to sunset 14.
All
So
right.
if they get the trust system in the previous expansion, like they've been working on the new game since 2016. I didn't think it was going to be here until like 2025 or 2024, but it could be here in 2021, 2022. You know, and then if that's the case, like holy smokes, like that's incredible.
I think we're going the wrong way.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
But the other
I'm
thing
just
that
trying to
really
remember.
annoyed me is the summoner change.
Because this is just one
So
big
I've
maze.
played with it, and my DPS is way up, but I don't think I like it.
It kind of feels like it took away what summoner was. Because to me, all now the pet looks like to me is just, okay, auto attack DPS. Because you barely have time to use the regular attacks.
Yeah, I gotta practice it with it more.
At least in the rotation I was used to, you barely had time to use the attacks. It just seemed you downed a
See,
little.
we need to get up
too
over
much for when
there.
you're using them.
You do feel the instant gratification of the Ruin 4
There we go.
proc, because it's like, okay, here you go. And then, so you do feel that, but oh man, it's pushing me back.
Wind attacks.
After that, like it does feel a little bit better. in terms of like, okay, I used it. Okay, there's my 4, and then I can kind of like stack those up and feel definitely more, connected to my rotation than before. Right, I just haven't spent the time on making sure I'm doing the right rotation.
More I got used to the summoner before the most recent patch.
Yeah, it just I was playing more more machinist.
How is machinist in the newest patch?
Better than it was.
That's good.
They
needed
just
it.
gave machinist like just a damage
What?
boost. So I was like, all right.
I was more meaning because I barely played it when Shadowbringers came out just to get it up to 71.
Yeah.
Just so I would be able to do the trust system when I got to it.
Oof. That hurt.
Then again, I did something
Where'd
that
he
a lot of people said is pretty much suicide.
What?
I'm leveling up my healers via just beast system.
Dude,
beast
my
drives.
my mag is going
wow.
nuts right now.
I haven't
You're
even
leveling
touched
your
any
healer
of
by
the
what?
stuff.
Oh, you're
Doing the
leveling.
beast drive.
I mean, they're giving a lot of experience. When I was doing it, I'm leveling my dragoon. I've done some roulette since. I got like a half a level just from the
Oh,
beast
we got
drive.
him.
Nice.
Can't heal, so I'm stuck just doing beast drives.
Red candy. Ooh.
Sadly, I just can't heal, so I either I'm going to just do
Special
base or
weapon.
beast drives.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, which one are you leveling? White mage?
Astrologian.
Oh. I mean,
And
I didn't
then
have
white mage.
I didn't have any trouble using Astrologian when I was leveling.
It's more I just plain simple suck with healing.
Let's
I can tank, I
give
can't heal.
you a thing.
Yeah, I've been working on white mage. Having a good old time with that. I love white mage.
Yeah, I only see one thing really with white mage anymore. You are all just nourishment to the blood lily.
That's so funny. I love that meme.
It's one of those ones you hear kind of too often anymore.
So I got a question in here that's asking if they should just wait for the American release, or should they just bite the bullet and get the tweaker?
Personally, how big of a fan are they?
Good question. See if I can pronounce the name. Bravina? Sorry if I butcher it. Yeah, how big of a fan are you? And just what's your passion to play it, you know?
I'm only just trying to get them maxed out for one reason and one reason alone. Mount.
In 14?
Yeah, if you get all your classes to cap, you get access to the Amaro.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's literally the reward for getting everything, for getting the full, whatever it is. Title.
All tanks, healers, and DPS. You don't have to worry about crafters or gatherers.
Well, yeah,
yeah, I know.
They added that in 5.0.
What did that add to be hide behind that though?
Thus the grind continues.
Yep.
It's
I thought
a
that was
mount.
going to be fully unlocked halfway through Shadowbringers story. Awesome.
The Emerald is literally get everything to level 80.
No, I'm just saying it would have made more sense if it was just get it as like how you got the black chocobo in Evansville.
The Black Chocobo was literally a side quest. Inbound, I'm saying. Oh no, the Black Chocobo was main scenario.
Yeah.
But it was an early. The only reason why they gave us the Black Chocobo was so we could fly.
Yeah.
That was the reason for the Black Chocobo.
Yes.
And then we had the
wrong way.
bird. I'm looking through my mouse trying to find
the
it.
bird. The bird.
You know what bird I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, the bird.
Let's
YOLO,
identify
or
an
YOLO.
item.
Yeah.
The bird you get for finishing
This is still
story.
No, it wasn't for finishing story. It was
Ooh.
for finishing. What dungeon was it? The
I thought
one
it was.
in.
It was a
It
main
was-
story one, if I
Is it
remember
that-
right.
It was a main scenario, but it wasn't for completing the entire Stormblood
Let's
story.
check
It was for
that.
finishing. Let me just look up the
I thought it was the last dungeon.
Barnum's Medal.
Yeah.
Ah,
The one where you
65.
gotta do trials in it. You gotta do like tests.
Oh, the one
Yeah.
that pretty much only a few really mess up on anymore.
If people mess up on Barnum's Medal, yeah.
I've seen a lot of mess ups on it.
I mean, now, like I've seen it, like, but that was a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Well, I ran through it again to just get up my character up to level 70. I ran through it a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
I still have to go dog hunting.
Doggo hunting.
Yep. I've done horse and birds, and I got one of the drakes.
Nice.
But the only
Doggo
difference-
hunting. Try.
Yeah.
I never did bird hunting.
Oh, I finished bird hunting.
I never went bird hunting or doggo
Yeah.
hunting.
The drake hunting, I've only got one, and all I have to
haven't
say
got-
is
I haven't-
la la
I haven't-
la, and everyone knows.
I haven't even cleared any of the extremes. I don't care.
They're not hard on the Savage on any of the earlier ones.
Yeah, I know they're not hard. I don't care.
I'm gonna go with a spiffy sword this time.
Throwing around, I don't see any of it.
What did you guys
They're all
see?
behind you.
I did see something interesting.
I got a
Did
bunch
you
of
guys
robo
finish the
dogs.
5-1 story?
I finished
It left
it.
me with more questions, which was exciting.
Yeah, that is the best way to answer that. Is it left with more questions than it gave.
That last quest though, oh,
Yeah.
the last part. What is it?
They
Was
left
it-
us
is
with a
that-
good cliffhanger.
No, but you really got to see it. Wait, is this spoiler or no?
Well, what we talked about it a little bit the other day.
It has finished
I
the
have.
current main scenario.
I have.
Has anybody not?
That would be a better question, yeah. I'll take that as a no.
Okay, yeah. So is that?
Go ahead.
Do you think that's Emmett Selk in the white robe, trying to get
That's
eventually Xenos to basically cause the final calamity and bring about Zodiark for his hunt?
Wait, why does his robe look so different though?
well because he's dead. He died once, so he comes
I
back
actually
and
think something worse is about to happen.
Oh
They're
yeah,
coming back.
the Asians.
I think that it might have just been a trick on
Oh,
us killing
dude,
all killing the Asians.
that
and they
back
had one
piece.
more backup.
There's still another Ascian.
Right, I'm saying there's another still after.
Right, but it didn't strike me as Elizabeth.
It's not Elizabeth, but what it
It-
could
Did
be
not look
is,
like it.
I think it's someone else. I think, and this is just me speculating,
Yeah, go
there's
ahead.
two things. So first of all, I'm going to point this out because people did not. I don't think anyone's pointed this out. Why is Arbor alive?
Oh, at the end, yeah.
True.
Did he
Yeah.
say something evil? Like I couldn't
Oh,
tell.
it's an
No,
accessory.
He said something good.
What did he say? Because like it went.
It
too
was
fast.
like, while I'm still alive, I will protect this world kind of thing.
Okay.
All intents and purposes. But okay, Arbert's soul merged with ours. How is he still alive?
I mean, we
No,
could have
I don't know.
freed him from whatever he was.
So,
Second of all, I think the person in white is a possible shard of us.
Oh, you think?
I think
That
it's
is possible.
because
Yeah.
They
we know
said
we know
a
they're
little
running
bit.
for your life.
Elizabeth said he is going to bring other warriors of light against the warrior of darkness. We are
Oh,
the warrior
that's
of
true.
darkness. I think that person in white is one of the shards, warriors of light.
it didn't. It did not look like an. It dressed like an Ashen, but it looked too different.
Yeah, because remember, look at
Ah,
going back
I
to
have to
heaven,
damn it.
watch
or
it.
going back to heaven. Or remember, there is an warrior of light, one of our shards, on the source right now, and he was being trained by Elizabeth. And what color robe did he wear? White.
Right.
You can literally go and look right now. He's in the where Benfilio used to be.
Wait, am I the only one
You're
who?
talking about Unakali?
Yeah, Unikaha. He's wearing white, just
Makes
like that
me-
other.
It wasn't such a fancy robe, though. True, though.
Yeah,
It looked like just normal clothes.
Maybe it's like
is
a
he,
level.
is he in that
thing.
area, or is he
He's
is
still
he
there.
there?
You are.
he's still there.
Okay.
He will permanently be there for the end till the end of time.
Unless they decide to do something with him.
Time to take him out. I've got all the evidence I need.
No, I just thought it was really odd bit, like the way he said that, like sentence. It's the way the camera was. It made him look like he had dark intention himself. He looked like he wants to cause chaos the way he was acting.
Ooh, there's a lot of.
Maybe, but essentially, if Xenos wants a thrill because he's bored by everything, still,
And
you know, like hey,
boring,
you're
boring.
the thrill that you seek is to kill Zodiac. You know, it's like, well, how do you get to Zodiac? You got to have a calamity. So I don't think we'd stop the eighth umbral error. I think we just delayed it, or changed it, right? So it's no longer going to be a calamity of light. Maybe it's a calamity of the void. Maybe it's a
calamity of darkness.
Who did
right.
we role play as in the end?
And maybe we're not the Shadowbringers.
We might not be.
Well, yeah, we still got 2 years before the end of it.
No, but it was
Yeah,
we
2
role
years.
playing as at the end of the game again. Oh, 5.1 again.
Oh, that hurt.
At least this is the last time I have to fight this freaking boss. Well, at least for Bard.
Successor classes. Obi-Wan, are you talking about the subclasses? Or the Phantom and Hero?
Yeah, I haven't unlocked that yet.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get to those.
Was we playing as a Stydian near the end?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was fun.
that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I gotta admit though, what they were showing for those new weapons
That's-
with people
that
being
weapon
like
looks
fused
nice.
on top of them, I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god,
Yeah.
that's horrid.
It is horrid, but this is the Empire.
I like that raw. That raw opening. What was it that you could do? I really, when you were fighting them, do you know how you got to split up and you got to take the down path? I was like, are we gonna see the upper point of view with Gaius?
Which one?
Are we gonna see Gaius' point of view in that cutscene
I don't know.
where he goes up and
I
stuff?
would doubt it unless it has something to do with the plot.
There's a new class coming next month to PSO.
Serious?
Isn't it a limited?
Yeah.
What?
So Brian, if you're reading the chat window on the right side of your screen,
I don't have it up. As I asked where you were, and I sorry, I didn't see the link.
Oh no! On PSO, there's
Oh,
the
okay.
chat window
Oh,
on
yeah.
the right side.
Do you think you might like the hero classes? Maybe.
Yeah.
My hope is like what would be really cool is if I'm able to get all these things leveled and be like, yo, what class should you play? Like,
Right.
What is the upper class? What's coming anyway? Do we know?
it's coming in the
Hey,
spring.
thanks for
Right,
the follow
I was
there,
trying to figure out
Bravian.
what it was.
Oh, well, he's trying to figure out what hero class is coming. I do not know.
No, because we already
I-
have.
Yeah, we
We
have
already have two hero ones, don't we? There's a hero and Phantom.
Yeah, the.
I'm not ignoring him.
Well, he's been typing stuff into that chat window on the right side of PSO, and I guess
Yeah, it's good to know that he's doing that because I was like, all right, well, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll read that chat.
yeah, he's been typing stuff into there.
So I'm playing on voice for a reason.
I actually saw
Say,
someone who mapped all their controls to just their voice and tried to play.
Oh yeah.
that would be
It
difficult
did
as
not. It
ever.
did not last long.
What was that?
How do you get red meat from a robot?
Oh,
I have loads of that stuff.
you're only classifying it as meat.
This
I wouldn't
right.
eat it.
I don't eat it now.
Say, the
Oh, wait.
pink paste that they make chicken nuggets out of.
No.
Oh, it says a new class is coming in winter. So around now. No, not now.
Ooh.
I don't know. I had snow over here earlier.
I'm apparently we're
And
getting
I've already heard Christmas music.
Dude, this guy looks awesome.
I know, right?
Oh no, I know so many people who are putting the Christmas stuff up now, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, I heard Christmas music the day before Halloween.
People are almost like, it's not Christmas until you see the
Come on, Mag,
Christmas coat
get 'em.
advert, yeah. Awesome.
Until you see the what?
The Christmas coat advert with Santa.
Hmm.
I'm not sure you guys get that though.
Yeah, I know the one for where I'm at kind of really easily pinpoints where I am, but it's you know it's not Christmas until you hear the BC Clark's jingle.
The BP Clark's jingle?
That's why I said it really. It
Oh
shows
well,
where I am.
thanks everyone
Okay.
for not one-shotting him for us.
Oh, I got one shot of
It's
myself.
Oh, you
it's
did?
a jewelry store.
So we're
It's
getting
a jewelry
If
store.
I can get over to you, I'll.
I got half doll.
Okay.
a new region
Oh.
we're getting apparently. In PSO. But I don't know.
Get access to
Other
dwarves.
circle.
But pretty much all the regions are new to me. I haven't done any.
Oh.
Well, I haven't done that many.
Oh,
Yeah, I
I
can
should
never
have
find
jumped.
anyone to do any of the Heaven Sword content. Like the weapons for Heaven Sword.
To be
Oh, yeah.
honest, you only need like 2 to 3 people
It's definitely easy
For
now.
what?
for Heaven's Word.
Because I'm trying to get the. I was gonna try and get the
Running,
relic
running,
weapon.
running it unsynced.
You can almost
Oh,
solo
come
it.
on.
I was wondering if you could solo it by now.
Well, I know for a fact the hardest
I'm
part is
getting just hammered right now.
grinding out poetic. That's literally all it is.
Oh, I'm maxed on Poetics. I really just don't use it.
Then you need to start buying
what?
stuff if you're looking to get
Let's have
Heaven's Word
fun.
relics.
Well,
Actually,
yeah,
also
I'm.
use any if you have any past Beastman tokens, like use
Yep.
those as well too.
I have plenty of those. I have like 622 exile tokens.
Because like each of the beast tribes from like ARR, I'm not sure when they added it, but they have like the key things what you need for getting to like one part of the relic.
You mean the first part from the Realm Reborn ones? Yeah, I
No,
have
no.
the other part.
No, I'm saying for the
Yeah.
animal.
Oh, maybe.
There we go.
Yeah, I stopped at level.
I love how
4
my
on the
mag is
ARR
just
one.
going nuts right now.
Yeah, I'm not saying the ARR. I'm saying the Heaven's Word. Relic.
Oh my god. Apparently Red Dead came off a PC like yesterday.
Ooh, we got a couple
Yeah.
rare
Oh,
eggs.
I heard the controversy.
It
I heard
is
it's
Last
buggy as hell.
survivor.
I heard it's a buggy mess.
It's more buggy than the PS4 version.
Yeah, it actually one's worse.
Guilty
It's actually-
break. That sounds fun.
That put me off straight away.
I hadn't played either. I hadn't
the
played Red
The
Dead.
main issue that people are having is So people spent full money on like.
tell him no. I don't know about player shops.
Yeah, he's listening to the stream and everything, so
Okay,
he's
good. I need to pull up your stream. Get you the watch time.
whoop, whoop.
Twitter. .tv. Let me host you. What's your
I think the Twitch one. What is the Twitch one? It's. I think it's this Soro space Oberon.
I can't do a space underscore.
Then yeah, it's probably the underscore.
So the main issue is that let's say you have the like the
That's
top
it.
of the line, like RTX.
Thanks for the host, man.
What is it?
I haven't hosted yet.
Oh, come on, man.
I think
I
it's
gotta
higher
add the
than
follow,
that.
so
Yeah, I
you
know.
can
I know. I'm just
I mean, talking like
jagging
the one
you.
that talk that's like $4,000.
It's like 240. It's like 240.
Yeah.
Or
You can't get 4K 60 frames.
There we go.
The best
Really?
you can. Yeah. You can't even on the top of the line. You can't get 4K
Oh, sweet.
60
I'm gonna
frames.
learn that stuff.
The best you can get is 1280 30 frames. And at 30 frames, it's
Oh, that's
stuttering.
awesome.
that is bad.
Yeah. The only system that can get 4K currently for Red Dead is the Xbox One X.
It's ridiculous, though. Like, it's like the people are saying, if you're gonna buy it, wait for a patch.
Wait for like 6 months. Yeah.
Glad I wasn't planning on buying it.
Yeah.
I was say the next thing I plan on buying, I'm just waiting to get my next paycheck.
Don't buy anything. Don't buy anything until the end of the month.
I'm gonna exit the game. I'm gonna switch over to some 14 for a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem.
Black
I wanna
I'm gonna
get,
do some story
Outer
stuff.
Worlds.
I would have been
Get
playing
Game
You get
Pass.
it for like $1.
Get Game Pass.
I'm
been
gonna
playing
wait
all
for
week.
the year to get it.
I'm literally saying get Game Pass.
Yeah.
It's on the Xbox Store
And plays and PC.
and PC
That also
Store.
takes-
I've been.
What? I was about to make a joke saying that takes having an Xbox.
No,
You
it
don't need
doesn't.
to have an Xbox.
I was making a joke.
Exclusives are like Microsoft's leading the charge, and yeah, it's gonna be about 10 years before like the culture changes around it, but it's what's gonna be better for gamers in the long run.
You can play it on PC.
Honestly, like I would love for
Yeah.
them to release Halo on PlayStation 4 and just be like, where the hell you want?
Won't ever happen.
Like, the Outer Worlds is really good so far. I love it.
Actually, I forget where I was reading it, but talking about Halo, I guess they said that the guy who they're doing having who did the original design for Master Chief is working on the design concept for Samus and Metroid Prime 4.
Wow, that's exciting.
So she might look different. I do think she needs a bit of a new look. It's not gonna look like Master Chief, is it? Though that'd be weird.
Inning shots.
Congrats, you got Master Chief.
A female Master Chief.
Well, nowadays everyone can have a female counterpart.
Xeno's counterpart.
I thought Xenos was a female at first at one point. It's obvious though when you start talking now. I need to stop making my backlog bigger.
You gotta start making your backlog bigger.
I need to stop making my backlog bigger.
Oh, hands down. I think we all do.
Yep.
I think everyone has at least a decent sized one.
It's a first world problem.
Sorry, a decent size is what?
Backlog.
Oh yeah, it's.
I got a big Switch one.
Yeah, I got a big Switch and PS4 one. Probably about 30 games. But I ain't been buying games. I just ain't. The last game I bought, well, I can't say that because the last game I bought was Borderlands 3. And Brian,
How is that treating you?
oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. But
You like it?
oh, it's great. I beat it. I've nearly platinumed it. But I would say if no spoilers, I know because there are people I know for a fact haven't played it. If you haven't played it and you're a big fan of one of the characters from B1, you're gonna hate the ending.
I played it and I know. Got what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say.
There's a few characters. What I'm saying.
Yeah, one major one.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't buy it on PC though, because oh my god, it's
I
another
bought
Disney
it
game
on
on PC.
PS4. I hate that I bought when I bought it because I bought it and then literally a week later it went on sale.
I know, it sucks when that happens, doesn't it?
So, how do you guys feel about that first pass?
Which?
The Fallout 76 one.
Yeah, nope.
Don't get me
Not,
started with that.
don't care.
If you
just
buy
find it
that,
funny.
I don't know what to say to people who buy.
Oh no, they literally get beat up in game.
I've heard about that actually. I saw that if you buy
yeah.
the pass, you get beaten up. Yeah.
Well, this is the
Who
main
gets beaten up
issue.
again?
The people
If
who buy the
you
pass.
are, if you're caught with the Fallout pass, they end up beating you. People in Fallout 76 end up beating you up.
Huh.
Because it's literally the main issue with the first pass is all the stuff
Fucking
in the
content.
first pass, all the first stuff all the stuff in it was asked for. Like, oh yeah, we've been asked for this stuff, but this is the other caveat. And yeah, I can't blame them because people have been asking for this, so why not put it behind a paywall? The reason why they were asking for it is because they were promised when 76 first launched that it would be cosmetics only. All the stuff they were asking for, they thought they would get for free because
That sounds so much like Todd Howard.
Yeah, they literally were saying cosmetics only.
Oh no!
At the launch.
Have any of you heard the song "It Just Works"?
It just works, yeah.
No,
There's actually a song that's called that.
Todd Howard doesn't care.
he doesn't.
One more rank. Okay.
He's a salesman.
He just wants the money.
Well, yeah. I mean, I can't blame the guy. I mean, if they want the stuff, if they're asking for it, that's just like other games have done this,
no
and they
one's
don't
gonna
get
deny
flack.
the market. Yeah.
No one's gonna get.
Well,
no
it's,
one's
it's
giving
because
flack.
Fallout 76 isn't a good game.
No, it isn't.
Well, if people were like this is like like everybody's got to play it, they can do whatever the hell they want, and people would just give them a pass. Like, oh, that's kind of where like it's. I don't know if EA will ever get back to that spot. But if EA, let's say, released the best games for decades, never made a mistake, did anything wrong.
They already made one.
I don't know, like that's EA, but it's like ultimately, they could get away with whatever if the games are good. Imagine if Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order just blows people away, and it's like, oh my gosh, shit. There we go.
A lot of people are thinking that's gonna happen, but I still sense.
I don't know. I don't care. I think if EA does it, it's not gonna surprise me. I hope the game's great though. Like, Respawn is a heck of a great developer, and I hope they make a really good Star Wars game. It'd be great if a great Star Wars game
They
came
might
out.
be able to revive it. They're good at respawning.
Yeah.
Wait, but did you hear about the on the Fallout 76 thing? Was it you get like a storage box and people's loot's being getting deleted when you throw it in there?
Yeah. Oh, you mean a Fallout and a Elder Scrolls game has bugs? Like, oh, what a...
Oh my god, really?
A Bethesda game having bugs?
They've been using the same...
Bethesda.
Like, they've been using the same engine for ages.
They've been using the same engine since literally Elder Scrolls 4.
Which is a long time.
I have such like acid reflux right now, or heartburn or something.
You got any Gaviscon?
Oh, shit.
You got any Gaviscon or something, Brian?
I need to get some water or something. I just feel like I'm just sitting here, everything's fine. And I'm like, and then all of a sudden it's like, a little frustrated down there. Like, what are you doing there, Tommy?
Yeah,
Oh.
one game I
Nah,
don't know how to feel about knowing that a sequel's coming is Psychonauts.
Oh yeah.
We haven't seen an update on that for a while, have we?
Not recently,
Hmm.
but I still don't know how to feel about having a second one because it ended off pretty good, honestly, for a solo game.
Yeah.
But then again, I said that about Portal too.
Isn't this a
Out of
prequel?
all the Blizzard announcements, I thought I really respected that Overwatch, your content carries forward.
Oh, that
Overwatch
is
2
that.
looks fun though.
I didn't really see any of it.
Will hopefully be a new model for like any kind of games as a service. Because it's like that is just they said that, I was like, yep, that's exactly what it needs to be.
Ooh,
Like,
I know
it
something
looks
that would be
fun.
kind of nice. This is just a dumb idea, but for like people who have almost every Final Fantasy, people who had Final Fantasy 11, whenever like Final Fantasy 11 and Final Fantasy 14, when they make the next online one, they put it to where if your system has that, if your account has it, they allow it to where you can get cosmetics that would only be from those games.
Yeah. Well, and I think they'll absolutely do that. Like they'll be like, oh, all your stuff carries forward. Like they're not even separating the community, so it's like the PvP modes, the characters, they'll all be in Overwatch 1. So you get the graphical update, you get the story missions, and I bet then they're going to say, and new content unlocks in the sequel. And I don't have an issue with that.
I kind of have an issue with what could happen with that.
There definitely is some concern, but from the fact that they're talking about carrying it forward, there is also essentially like at least they're oh shit, I actually want to roll all this stuff now. I'm not used to that. In the sense that it's like, well, at least at a minimum, we're starting to make what I feel is progress.
Yeah, but I can see the one step forward, two steps back thing.
Yeah, it could easily be two steps back.
Because take this. If you release a game, okay, it goes big. Now you release a second game that you're going to give extra content to the people who had first, and anyone who has the first game. Now, if someone wants to get to that content that's locked, they have to go and buy the other game.
Yep. I'm
So
sure
I
that
can
if it
see
comes
where
down
it
to
can
the
be bad.
first game, that there'll be sales and stuff like that, because like
There's already going to be a sale. They already announced it.
Oh, they did?
Yep, there's already going to be a sale. Guess what day it is?
I don't know.
Day gets released.
No, the last day of this month. The day we just talked about a little while ago. Don't buy games until the end of the month.
Oh, Black Friday?
There's already a sale for Overwatch at Target. And if it's at Target, it's going to be at Walmart. If it's at Walmart, it's going to be on Amazon.
I mean,
Good
Brian,
point.
are you interested in Overwatch 2 now?
Oh, I really enjoy Overwatch.
So don't I'm gonna keep reiterating. Don't buy games.
I already own Overwatch, so it's like it's not.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
though.
We were talking
Don't
about
buy any game.
for the Wednesday night group.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'm waiting until
try
the
it.
winter sale for Steam so I can just buy a couple games on there.
Did they have to make an Overwatch 2 to do a story mode?
No.
No,
No.
they didn't.
You could have
But
just did a massive patch or
this
something.
is the thing.
Could've.
You know who you can blame? Blame
Who?
the battle royale.
If it doesn't launch with a
Fortnite.
battle royale, I'm gonna be
No. Blame the God, what's the name of that dang game? Fortnite. Blame Fortnite because they literally had a free to play game, and then they
made more money. They took Overwatch's momentum. Overwatch was pretty.
Well, the main issue is they also released a single player game. It didn't sell that well, but they did release a single player game.
Overwatch.
That was before.
No, for
Fortnite.
Fortnite.
Yeah.
It was supposed to save the world.
Yeah, save the world.
Before battle royale.
Yeah, but then they really marketed after Fortnite had been released.
Mm-hmm.
The Fortnite before the storm or whatever it was called, the whole thing. It was originally a single player game. It was a story game.
It was. Yeah.
It wasn't marketed well. Like no one had ever heard of it. And then they do, oh, let's do Fortnite. Let's just do a battle royale. Let's just copy PUBG. And it blew up. And then they started marketing their single player game after the fact.
Battle Royale, no, to say the world barely actually gets updates.
Yeah, I don't think it's had an update in, like, from what I understand, it has not had updates in
It's
months.
really annoying though. That's what people originally bought the game for.
I mean, they bought that game. Fortnite, as it is, the battle royale, it's free.
To say the world, that was quite an interesting concept.
And I really didn't pay attention to what they released anymore. Period.
Yeah,
Epic.
But then they did
It's
bring
epic.
out that Chapter 2 thing, which everyone lost their mind over.
yeah, and all they added was, it's a new map, cool, and it's got fishing,
That's
cool.
it.
That's it. All this hype,
Oh.
and it's literally a new map.
Wasn't it? Did they add like a black hole on the screen for like
Yeah,
24
for
hours
like
or something?
for like 2 days. Like literally, they destroyed the old map. You can't even go back and play the old map.
You know what would be the better option? Put it in a rotation.
Yep.
But that takes work. Would you rather would we rather make it to where our games are only exclusive to us, or make other people's companies' games only exclusive to us?
I was expecting. I don't know. A lot of people were expecting something way more like epic to
Ow.
happen.
Again, it's epic.
Yeah.
Epic Games.
No one has faith in it.
The
I used to
main
have faith
issue
in
with
Epic
Epic,
Games.
the main issue with Epic is, I'm gonna say this, and I'm probably gonna get blasted. They're gonna go the same way as Steam,
Steam?
meaning Valve. I'm talking about actual going the same way as Valve.
Stop making
To
games.
where they're not
Be
making
a
games
publisher?
anymore.
Yeah, just
That's
be a
possible.
publisher. Because
You mean
Yeah, I can see
literally,
that.
there is a reason why Valve does not make games. What people don't
It's
realize
too risky.
it's too risky. Just them publishing the games, all them games you buy on Steam, 10% of that profit, 10% of all that money you spent. Go look at your Steam wallet. Go look at and see how much you've spent, and take that and multiply it by 10%.
I don't think I
And
want to
all
do
of that went
I'll
into
be back.
Steam wallet. All of that went into Steam's pocket. So literally, if you spent $2,000, 200 of that went to Steam's pocket.
I'd feel embarrassed if
And
I
they
saw
didn't-
how much I spent. on it.
Same.
You know what I mean, though? It's just like it's crazy when you think about it. It's you make more money on publishing games.
You know what it
Yeah.
also costs to publish a game on Steam? Outside of like the indie stuff?
Hmm?
$300,000.
Yeah.
So that's before
So
the
on
10%.
on top of that, they're making
I've heard
$300,000.
higher numbers, but yeah.
Yeah. So that's a lot of money. So yeah, people are just it's gonna happen. I think it's going to happen, and people are gonna be like, oh, no one. I'm like, I'm calling it now because it's the trend. It happened with Valve, and it's gonna happen with Epic.
Wouldn't surprise me.
If
We're
it
gonna
does
miss you.
surprise anyone, I'd be surprised. No.
It's only thing of people who want to make games, it's like, hey,
Yeah.
it's too risky. Gamers are too fickle, and
And gamers are too fickle. They don't look at the bigger picture.
yeah. Well, it's hard because it's like there's an emotional connection,
Mm-hmm. I just wish I could find a macro.
I remembered one thing that I went back to actually finish now. I never finished darn Octopath Traveler.
I know it's
I still
a
haven't.
pile of shame.
I still haven't.
I
And
love that game.
It's probably not as much as you guys, but apparently I spent like over. Wait,
I've got over 1,000 games.
I don't even want to say that number.
What, on Steam?
I found
Yeah.
out where you can see how
Yeah,
much.
I don't have that many games on Steam. I'm not a PC gamer. I will say it. I'm not a PC gamer.
I am.
I'm a mixture of everything, to be honest.
I'm mostly a PS4 gamer. If you want to know my PS4 catalog, yeah, you want to know my. I mean, I don't have that many.
I'm looking forward to when consoles don't hold gaming back anymore.
Yeah, see
I
you in 100 years.
£5,000.
It's gonna be 15 years.
No, I'll see you in 100. Unless literally they can make PCs worth $100 that can play top of the line games.
Already have.
It won't happen.
Already have.
Yeah, come see me when I can do that at my house, where the internet will never be upgraded.
15 years.
But I thought you were going to enjoy that Stadia.
It's 15 years. It's gonna. We're gonna see a fundamental shift, and it's gonna benefit gaming. MMOs are gonna change dramatically in 15 years.
Again, I say this, and I will keep saying it. When people in rural areas can get the same internet that you have right now, Brian.
Yep.
That's when it'll happen, and that won't be in 15 years because I was told 15 years ago that I would have internet like you have right now.
Okay.
I was told that 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to put the money.
There's going to be people who want to put the money.
This is the problem, though. They can't put the money because of the corporations like AT&T have a stranglehold. If someone comes out and runs new lines, AT&T goes, no, shut you down right now.
Yeah. 15 years. That's what I'm calling it. We'll see what happens. Let's see here.
Is anyone even interested in Stadia?
Nope.
Not really.
I can't use it. Like, I mean, I would be interested if I could use it. Because
Stadia's got a lot of challenges. They're investing. I met with the team this last week. They're investing billions of dollars a year into it. And, they're too pot committed to walk away from it. At least for the next 15 years. So that's kind of their timetable. And
so they're kind of in a rabbit hole on that.
Well, there's a lot of very interesting business opportunities that flow beyond just the Stadia. So the technology itself is very advanced, but they have to figure out games, because launching. So they have a couple. They've been building their own internal studios, and their whole goal is to figure out like what kind of games can they make with the Stadia backbone that haven't been made otherwise, right? So if they can kind of come up with that and come up with that killer app that could technically only be done in the cloud, then that's essentially what they have. No killer app. Now I'm getting it because I like cloud gaming, and it'll be a fun test content-wise for the channel.
I can see the problem with like people who have bad internet.
That's what we're saying.
Oh yeah, like for
Brian's
started,
saying 15 years. Brian's saying 15. I'm saying no. I'm saying 20, 30, 100 years. Because unless the only way that I could see them do it, and I've actually seen the numbers for this, is if the cell phone companies spend, trillions. I'm talking.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
They're going to have to spend trillions.
That's exactly what they're doing. So it's not wires that are going to be running your house smart. It's 5G.
Yeah, it's 5. That's actually what I'm trying to get at is the 5G. But this is the problem. To run 5G properly, like they need to do. Okay, so for every mile, which is what your power line poles are set up at, or whatever, like what your power poles, there has to be a 5G box on top of every single one. So just go into your area and just do a radius count and just say how many power poles are in this area.
Mhm.
Just in that like a 5 mile radius, there's like 100 power poles. That's 100 in a 5 mile radius or whatever. It's like the numbers are ridiculous, and even then, there are prone to failure. And if the box at let's say this one power pole fails, like 5 other boxes fail
Because it blows
because
the others out.
hmm? Sorry, I'm getting breakups. My internet's being my internet.
Pretty ironic.
There's no we've tried. Like AT&T has a stranglehold on this area, and no one wants to fight AT&T
Mhm.
because that is a major losing battle.
It's
Trying to fight.
it's a losing battle for AT&T. As soon as somebody who can flex hard enough is going to come in and steal their customers who've
Oh
been
yeah,
pissed off and tired. So all it takes is let's play role play. Yeah, I'm Google and I go, hey, Smart
Uh,
and your family, what do you play for internet?
I personally pay. Me personally, I pay $40 a month.
What if I could get you 1 gigabyte down and 100 megabytes up for $20 a month? Would you sign this contract?
No,
Why not?
because it's 5G and I don't trust 5G.
All right. Well, enjoy your slow internet. Go into the next house.
so there's
And a lot of
actually
my areas,
And the 5G is
Generally, how they
still
work.
the 5G is still around you. So like, all right.
no, because again, the problem is like AT&T owns the company that is trying to pull this stuff. Like, because
AT&T owns Google.
no, you know who's the main driving force behind this program?
Who?
Verizon. Guess who owns Verizon? AT&T.
Okay.
so there's actually a really good thing to watch. There's called uh I, I can't remember the guy's name, but it's something ruins everything. And he go
Adam ruins everything.
Adam ruins everything. Yeah, and he's really like he goes over internet and the
Yeah, it's
corporations and stuff like that.
College Humor. It's the
Yeah,
College Humor
yeah.
channel.
And then there's also on Netflix. There's a guy. He does the. It's a political show. He's a Muslim guy. I can't think of his name either.
Oh,
His
I
song
know what you're talking about.
political agenda or something like that. I can't remember the exact name of the show, but he does one on the internet as well, and it
Mhm.
goes over some of the stuff that you're going over now.
Yeah, it's all political. Like this whole thing, like when people were talking about, uh, so net neutrality. People, they had all them things. Oh yeah, this is bad for us. It's not helping us. Actually, net neutrality was actually helping us because one of the purposes of net neutrality was that AT&T and all these other companies, Comcast, all of them, were being forced by federal law to actually start, improving the internet infrastructure in these rural areas. And as soon as net neutrality was repealed, all the work that was being forced on them, it just stopped.
Can we blame a Jeep Pie or no?
We already were blaming a deep high because this, and everyone knows it's his fault because, and they have actually proven this, but they can't fully prove it because of how the situation happened. A week a week before he was sworn in, he got a check from AT&T. He has not been working with AT&T at that time for a month. Why did he get a check worth double his annual salary a week before he was sworn in?
Is lobbyist?
Yeah. So they got him to, get in there. And then a week later, all this stuff. Oh yeah, I'm repealing net neutrality. It's like, oh man, that's pretty interesting that you got a check from AT&T, and then you're starting to repeal what they've really been asking. And they tried to go to court to get it repealed when it was first initiated. It didn't work.
There's something about that, man, that annoys me.
And get this, people are speculating that when he, is no longer the head of the FTC, all he'll do is roll up to AT&T's office and say, "I want my job back," and they'll just go, "Sure, here's your job back."
Probably, if he wants to work.
Yeah.
Man, not have to work again.
Yeah, I mean, I can't fault him, but at the same time, it's just like he was the chairman of the FTC, the guy that's supposed to oversee these corporations, and all his business decisions are helping these corporations out instead of helping the people out.
Is that fast lane or slow lane thing even happening yet or no?
We'll see.
What do you mean by fast lane, slow lane?
That was the whole point of repealing net neutrality, that they could have essentially kind of a premier speed.
And for people who are not, they'll be put onto the slow part of the internet, like in a queue.
Yeah.
Well, for people that wait.
It's always going to be, the poor is always going to be the first ones to be hindered, because we can't afford to pay these guys extra money. What I think, and this is actually what net neutrality was leading up to, and I think Brian would agree with me on this one. The way our infrastructure, the global infrastructure, is currently, internet should be a utility.
Oh, hands down.
It is.
Hands down.
Definitely.
I'm fine if there's a premier version, but I think it definitely I think it. Sure, people might use it for bad, but ultimately it would be great just because it takes out a reoccurring cost from people's just budget, so that from a education perspective, I'd rather us invest in getting people access to the internet and getting even online courses and things hey, after work, you're at home. Now the question was well, how, do they have a PC? Do they have these? It's in my mind, one step at a time. If you can ensure kind of internet for all, and
the main issue with that, the main issue is that if it gets designated as a utility, it falls under the utility laws. And when it falls under that, guess what happens? Guess what it becomes? Literally net neutrality. The only thing that net neutrality really did was file internet, any kind of phone structures, all that stuff, as a utility. That's literally the basis of the law, was to make it filed as a utility.
All right.
And then what happens? All these, AT&T and all that, they start complaining. Oh yeah, hurting us. It's hurting us. When in fact it was actually giving them more money in the long run, because more people were actually subscribing to them companies because they were in areas that they used to not be in.
Right,
So I just got invited to a concert and game.
Cool, man. Enjoy the concert.
Yeah, it's on the stream right now.
I am hurting. I have not. I hate daylight savings.
That's one reason why
I see the concert up on the screen. That's nuts. All right, guys. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah.
You too.
Later.
You too. Okay, so it's up to get the last character.
Last character.
Doing darn Octopath Traveler.
Oh, I've already gotten all the characters. I just got to get all mine leveled, and
Yeah.
then
I'm up to go do the last one.
Nice.
Wait, Spada, one of the biggest Switch games are coming out though, aren't they soon?
Uh,
Well, that was pretty neat. Never did that before.
Stealth is $300. The Switch Lite is 200. So them getting a console $100 cheaper, and the only thing it doesn't do is dock. So it plays all the Switch games. It plays, it plays everything the Switch does. But it's $100 cheaper. Parents gonna go, sure, I'm just gonna buy that for my son for Christmas. Just like look what happened with the PS3. People don't realize it. People say,
Yeah.
"Oh, Xbox 360 won that era." In sales numbers, actually, the PS3 won them era, won that generation.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Between the PS3 and Xbox, because technically the Wii won that generation entirely. So, you know what? I'll just finish this tomorrow. Really and truly, getting a console cheaper and not having to put a lot of extra work into it to get a cheaper version financially is a good idea. And their stock when they announced the Switch Lite being $200, just it skyrocketed. It went up like I think they said it was like a 10% raise increase from what I
Yeah.
remember. And the numbers have actually shown that the Switch Lite did help them because get this, they just released some numbers. Not Young, Spawnway was talking about it. If you take the PS4's generation life cycle, which the PS4 is the fastest selling PlayStation ever, it's also the number two over all time. All time. only behind the PS2. The Switch in Japan has actually outpaced it.
Really?
hmm The Switch has already passed 10 million, or
Is it?
it's like let me look at those numbers. Switch, uh,
It's gotta be because people like traveling there and getting
well,
drinks.
yeah, it's literally yeah. The Nintendo Switch has sold over 10 million units in Japan, but that includes the Switch and the Switch Lite. In the U.S., it sold 15 million. Which also remember this: how old is the Switch?
2 years.
Only 2 years. The
How much it free in
PS4,
each?
the PS4 and the Xbox One did not have a system under $200 for 4 years without sales going on or something. But an actual, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go buy this thing because it's only $200. The $200 price point is the golden goose. It
Really?
is the perfect number. There have been studies about it. How getting a console to $200 will actually get more people to buy it.
It's affordable.
Mm-hmm. Because even at $200 on my budget, and I'm basically working minimum wage. I make $10 an hour. That's not a lot.
I
That's,
remember those days.
yeah. So I make on average $300 a week, but I get paid every 2 weeks, so it's about $600. So $200, that's like I said, it's a perfect price point for me if I didn't already have a Switch, because I'd be like, oh cool, that's only going to take me a month to save up, instead of, oh yeah, that's going to take me 2 months to save up. That's why they did it. Yeah, it might not be selling well overall, but it's still selling.
Sounds like selling all.
Oh well, the Switch has always sold well, especially in Japan. What people don't realize in Japan, the culture, like their culture, is so different because, um, like, okay, so you kind of have a similar way of looking at it compared to like how we in the U.S. do. We're mostly, tight knit group communities in the U.S. Um,
Yeah.
we don't do a lot of traveling. But over in Japan, there's a lot of traveling. But at the same time, they work twice as long as we do, in most industries, and the whole thing is they're always on trains, they're always on bus, they're always commuting. They don't have their own car because like people think, oh yeah, Toyota's a Japanese company, Mitsubishi, and all these other companies are Japanese companies. They don't sell cars to Japan. It's literally impossible to. Japan is the most densely populated country in the world.
It's very popular there. Like, it's hard to get around, isn't it? Normally.
Yeah, so all the people are literally on buses, on trains, to get to work, to commute.
It could
So,
drove a car though, it would take way longer, I guess.
yeah, I mean, the traffic there's a reason, like, people think, oh, yeah, smog city, New York and all these other, big cities. You don't want to know what the smog's like in Japan, from what I understand. It is horrible.
Cars like always stopping. constantly.
Mhm.
It's like that. It's almost like you never move.
Yeah. Like comparing, if you look at just the population size, Japan's not that big. Oh yeah, they're not even in the top. Let's see. Let's see the world population.
Trying to see what this merchant does.
Okay. So we look. The U.S. has 4.3% of the world's population, and if you look at Japan, it only has 1.7% of the world's population. So it's literally a fourth of the U.S. population. Well, half. We'll say half. Half the U.S. population. But it's literally a eighth of the size of the U.S. Like in landmass. So think about taking New York, California, Texas, and jamming it into a country the size of New York.
Yeah.
Still love to go visit down there, though. Still would love to go visit down there, though.
Oh yeah, I mean I've heard it's amazing. I watch. I'm a game theorist. I've literally watched game theory since it first. Like, I still remember the cringing videos from when he first started it. It's insane how far
He
he's
does
come.
videos in his closet, doesn't he?
That was the running joke for a long time.
I quit watching him after he started doing way too many FNAF videos.
Okay, he stopped doing FNAF. Thank God. The only reason why he started doing FNAF was because, well, they kept releasing FNAF games. He still does, from time to time. He'll do a cringy video. But I've watched it since the beginning. So there was one character that I subscribed to his personal channel after watching him so many times, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go move back to my personal channel." Gaijin Goomba.
I remember him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still going, isn't
He's still going. So God, the Defy Media incident. I want to
he?
strangle.
Kind of sad. Like when his editor killed himself.
We don't. We remember him, but we don't. That's a hard He doesn't like bringing that up too often.
I know. It's
The main issue. Yeah, it's a sad thing that happened, but at the same time, remember what he did. Remember the good stuff. Don't forget the bad. Respect the bad, or whatever. It's that old saying. Gaijin Goomba used to actually. He was a part of a cultural exchange program, and he actually lived in Japan for a while.
Yeah, he taught people, didn't he?
Yep, he taught people. He's talked about it, and he's talked about the culture.
Like he got really annoyed when that Logan Paul did that thing, didn't he?
Oh God, Logan Paul is lucky he's still alive.
I'm surprised he got away with what he did.
The suicide forest is something that the Japanese people know about. It is something that they don't talk about. That forest is there, literally, for that reason.
No, but Gaijin Goomba really ripped him apart though.
Oh God, Gaijin Goomba, he destroyed Logan Paul over that. Because that's one reason why I like the Culture Shock story show, is because it teaches you the culture of Japan. And I mean, we think like the U.S. and Europe, we're a lot similar.
Similar.
Yeah, we're a lot. We take a lot of the same cues, basically between the U.S. and the U.K. because we used to be a territory of the UK. We have French immigrants. We have, all these immigrants from all these other countries,
We are
mostly
similar,
Europe,
yeah.
mostly European countries. Japan is like water to wine. It's like two completely different materials.
You can't, like, being loud there is looked upon, down upon.
Yeah.
Like when Logan Paul, like an idiot, streaming through the, right, when he was at that, like, what is it, that sacred place, when people were
Yeah.
praying, he's being loud there.
And he's being loud. And it's like, dude, this is literally. Are you loud in church?
You
Yeah.
be quiet,
I'm
don't
like,
you?
no, there are some people that are allowed in church. And those people, like, in the U.S., we can't really do anything about it, but we want to. In Japan, they do things about it. Yeah.
Don't care on church stuff.
Well, you know what I mean, though. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't care either. If you ask me, I'm mostly an atheist.
I'm counted as agnostic.
What is agnostic?
You believe there is a higher power, but you do not believe any one religion is correct.
That's basically what I am. I mostly still. I know there's a higher power. There has to be. But at the same time,
Yeah, because I believe there's not just one. There has to be multiple.
You kind of
be more than God.
Well, okay, so I'll put it in the terms of what people, a lot of us pop culture nerds, you kind of believe in the Marvel kind of way of higher powers. Because in Marvel Comics, we won't even talk about the movie, we'll just talk about the comics.
Let's not go into that rabbit hole.
Yeah, the movies are like, they take inspiration, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, let's. So, in Marvel Comics, there are actually technically 7 pantheons. You have the Celestials, which were beings that evolved basically at the very, 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 like, pre-universe. Before the universe had even really, the Big Bang. You actually have the Asgardian pantheon. They are actually a pantheon in the Marvel universe, on top of being, one of the superheroes.
You mean like Alpha's part of one?
Thor, the All-Father, all of them, they are actually a pantheon
Loki.
in the universe. They are actually worshipped. The Zeus mythology, the mythology of, Greece and all that, tied in with Roman and all that, because they were, technically the Romans were the Greeks. That's a mess. You also have the many cosmic beings like Nightmare, like Dormammu, like those beings, the ones from interdimensional beings. And then you have the Living Tribunal. And then above all of those beings...
You mean like Onslaught and all that, and Phoenix Force and all?
The Phoenix Force, the Living Onslaught. Onslaught is not. Onslaught is a weird thing. The Phoenix Force is. The Phoenix Force... So, the Phoenix Force is actually... So, technically speaking, even Jean Grey, when she was possessed by the Phoenix Force in the comics, she was not using the Phoenix Force full power.
Wait, what about the Fulcrum?
The who?
The Fulcrum? It's hard to say it. Fulcrum.
I can't remember.
Wait, Eternity then?
Yeah. So you have all them cosmic entities, Mistress Death, the Celestials, the Living Tribunal, Eternity,
Beyond
Infinity, all those guys. They're all different So like the Celestials, they're all basically into one pantheon. They are the ones that keep the universe, together. The Living Tribunal is over all those guys. There's only one in the entire multiverse. There's only one Living Tribunal, just like there's only one Phoenix Force. The Phoenix Force is the sum totality of all living beings in the multiverse. That's why even Jean Grey was not as powerful as she could have been when she was possessed by the Phoenix Force. Because she could have literally just went, goodbye, multiverse. Some totality. Go ahead.
Just remember the Chaos King.
Yeah, the Chaos King, all them guys. That's Thor, and that's in the future. But then there's one being above all of them. The one above all. Basically, the one above all, he's the creator. He's basically God in a sense. They don't write him. They don't show him. They have literally in the Marvel Comics has been publishing comics for 60 years. I think. They spoke his name. They said, "Oh yeah, it's the one above all." They have only actually showed him depicted in the comics 4 times, if I remember
Just show him
correctly.
that much though, because all his work is being shown anyway.
Yeah, they only show him actually interfering 4 times, if I remember correctly. Once it was a Fantastic Four comic, and they actually met him, and once was a Spider-Man comic, and Spider-Man, it was some shit went down, and yeah. But
it's like
in the same vein, all of them cosmic beings, they're all different pantheons, and they're all worshipped. But we don't actually know who the true power is. Yeah, they all hold power.
But the one who could just literally click his fingers and get rid of all of them.
Oh, he can just go delete. Basically, when we see the one above all, and everyone thinks about this, the true one above all was a merger of 2 beings. In the eyes of comic fans. They're no longer with us. Who is the one above all in Marvel Comics? Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. They actually did that.
They're the ones who made the universe.
They were the ones that made the Marvel Universe. So they actually somewhat teased that about it being Jack Kirby and Stan Lee.
No.
In that Fantastic Four comic that I was telling you about, that they actually showed him. You know how they depicted him?
Oh.
In the best way possible. It was right after Jack Kirby died, and they immortalized Jack Kirby in a page of the comic. It was Jack Kirby riding on an easel.
I was gonna say though, Stan Lee had one of the most powerfulest weapons of all, the eraser.
Yep. The bracer and the pin. The most mightiest sword.
I just was thinking now, like, if they're gonna do, like, new Avengers stuff, why can we just...
They already are.
Galactus?
They all... Oh, man.
We need Galactus.
We're going to get him, but it won't be until after Phase 5 in the movies.
Just imagine how badass he's gonna look, though.
There's a reason why. Phase 4... the newest phase that we're coming into, that's starting off with Black Widow, the Black Widow prequel.
Yeah,
all of that. Well, no, it's a movie. The Black Widow movie. It's gonna be a prequel to Civil War. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a prequel to Civil War. So basically, all of that content, all that stuff for Phase 4, which is up to like 2022, all of that was planned over a year ago. They didn't even.
This is gonna be setting up bigger things.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are rumoring that is going to be setting up, because they've already said that they're going to bring in mutants, and they've already had teases of it technically. Who here is a huge comic book.
I mean, I want to say I am, but I mean, I've just done a lot of research on them.
After 60 years, it's kind of hard. So they've already teased mutants. They've technically been teased since the day they showed Thanos' face.
You said
From the
mutants. I
day
just made
they
me think
showed
of X-Men.
Thanos, from the day they showed Thanos, they have been teasing that there are mutants in this universe. Because, so in the beginning of humanity, when we were still the proto humans, Celestials came to Earth and they did their little, oh yeah, I'm going to change this gene here and that, like little manipulations. So we had, technically, from that point on, we had three branches of humanity.
Wait a minute. They
We
basically
had,
have like a real life character creator, son.
well, no.
It's just
So,
what you're saying.
yeah. Well, what happened, basically, yeah, it's the Celestials. Oldest beings in the universe kind of thing. Uh, the only being older is actually Galactus. And that's because he's older than the universe. So basically, the Celestials created three branches of humanity. You had the Eternals. Oh, wait, that's a movie coming out.
It is, yeah.
You had the Deviants. Thanos is actually an Eternal with the Deviant gene.
Is that why it was so hard to create?
He is an Eternal. He is immortal. Uh,
Wait, so is he not
technically.
really dead?
No, he's dead. He's dead. Immortal in the sense of he can't die.
Like he
He
can
can be
stab him.
killed. He can be killed, but he can't die of
But he got killed
disease,
in a
old
way.
age.
He
It's
got killed in a different way, didn't he? No,
yeah.
yeah, oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
He was
Like,
snapped.
um, yeah, yeah. He
Yeah.
was snapped out of his existence,
But then there was that third branch I was talking about. That third branch was humans with an extra gene that might possibly activate later on in life. Guess what that gene started to be called?
what?
The X gene.
X-Men?
Mutants.
Are you not talking about X-Men though? When you say
There's
X?
literally speculation that the Eternals movie is going to lead to us getting the X-Men.
Like
And
in the
I'm
actual
in the
in the actual
actual
Marvel movies?
MCU. In the actual, well, I mean,
Oh
they
my
can legally
god.
do it. They can do it now. Just like they can bring Galactus in. Just like, literally, that Fox deal, people are like, oh, yeah. No, people don't realize what it gave us. Like, Disney holds all the power now. Like, no one will ever stop Disney now.
Would Galactus actually be a villain though? Because I mean, he's
Okay.
so massive. How would they beat him? It's something to do with his size. I mean, the power he has.
It's okay. It's not Galactus. That's the thing. Galactus is a great villain. He's a great Marvel villain. The other thing about getting Galactus into the MCU means we also get the Silver Surfer.
Oh, yeah, they coincide into it, didn't they?
They have to, because the only way the Silver Surfer has his power is he is granted that power by Galactus, because Galactus gives him a portion of the powers cosmic, which are
Sorry,
his powers.
I still think he looks one with the Silver Surfer.
Yeah. So I mean, people don't realize the stories they could do. They could actually like I like Civil War. Civil War was great, but if they could actually do the actual Civil War, oh man,
The comic
people
one,
would go insane.
the proper one, not the
Yeah,
one just called that.
the proper, you know, comic that was called Civil War. The one where literally they really went to war.
Not the one with Iron Man going against like.
Well, technically speaking, that is what the whole concept of Civil War was. But the main thing about Civil War, like the comic book, the original Civil War, was actually, it wasn't hero registration, which is what they dubbed it, in the movie. It was mutant registration. It happened because what led to that Civil War event was actually another great event.
Wait, but the
The,
Civil
uh,
War just
there was a Civil War comic.
no, but wouldn't that
I'm
mean
off to
it
sleep.
would be
Have a
Hmm?
good night.
You too.
like? But wouldn't that mean like literally a war between citizens of the same country and all? Like like
It was a
a
it was
civil
a
war.
war. It was a Civil War of heroes, and almost
Under the
all
same
the
name.
heroes. Hmm? They were
Under
the
the
same
same
nation.
company name. Yeah,
They technically were. It was
Avengers.
the heroes, the Avengers versus. They could do Avengers versus X-Men. That will be awesome.
I want
But
to
no.
see.
So
Yeah.
basically, Cap. It was two sides. You had technically it was still Tony and Cap, but what it was you had the heroes of today, Tony, Spider-Man, all these, heroes that weren't really modified heroes, more like Tony kind of heroes, guys who had machinery, guys who, you know, and then you had the mutants. And technically speaking, Captain America is technically a
He is
mutant.
just that machine that he got put in.
Hmm.
Like
It changed his genes. Yeah, he's an Avenger, but
The
he's
first
also a mutant.
Oh yeah, he is a mutant for sure. The way
Technically,
machine
I mean, all these. So, like, it was literally. So, what it was a Mutant Registration Act. What happened? What started that Civil War is a movie that would literally almost be impossible to make. It would be a 6-part movie. It was so heavily packed
wow.
with story.
But
The
well,
House of M. Think about if they could do the House of M. Oh man, that would be awesome.
people would be so tired by the time
People,
they didn't.
well, yeah, but at the same time, people would be like, I want to know the rest of the story. I mean, comic book fans have wanted to see a proper X-Men movie ever since X-Men 1 came out. Like, all of them X-Men movies that Fox did. While technically they were commercial successes, they weren't. Like, okay, so they made the joke in the first X-Men movie, all the way back in 2000. You remember that movie, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's been so long now.
yeah, it
But
has been so long. But there was one joking comment made, and it was about the uniform. And Logan was like, "Is this the uniform?" He's like, "Yeah. What do you expect? Yellow spandex?" Comic book fans
well, that's what.
expected yellow spandex.
You mean
They
what?
expected those
Wolverine?
colorful uniforms. Yeah, like Wolverine, like Cyclops'
With that
uniform.
mask.
Like, yeah, all of them, just some amazing comics. That all of them amazing costumes. Oh no, yeah, every last X-Men is wearing basically the exact same thing. Yeah, production-wise, it made sense, but come on, really?
I don't know. Like I'm looking at, you look at all the costumes. They're similar in like in what they're made out of, but they look.
They're made out of the same material. They basically look almost all the same. Yeah, they have a few, changes and stuff, but they're basically the exact same. It would have been better if they could have, gone in and got, like at that time when they did that storyline, Jean Grey should have been in a green dress.
Oh, definitely.
She should have been in a Dark Phoenix dress. Or
Wait,
the dress she was in before she became Dark Phoenix.
so you think House of M would be harder to make than what's it called? Endgame?
Oh, what, X-Men film be harder than
No, I mean hard Endgame. Would you think Endgame Do you think House of him would be harder to make than Endgame?
I think if they were to actually do it properly, which from what I've understood is that's what they've always strived to do, is adhere to the comics. Like that's one thing about like people rag on Disney about doing all these movies and all that. Like people rag on them, but in that same vein, they try to uphold the integrity of the comic, whereas Fox didn't care. It was a cash grab for them. Every time they made a new X-Men movie, it was a cash grab.
It
Disney has
definitely was.
cared. I mean, look at what they've done with the whole Stanley cameos.
Oh, they're amazing.
People don't realize, like some comic book fans have speculated, and with Stanley's passing, it kind of hurts because some people speculated because he's been in all of them, and because of the Guardian of the Galaxy one, they think he's been in all of them as the same person.
Like
People were
traveling. He's just traveling.
yeah.
Around.
Or
Doing mundane jobs.
what other word? What other word? He's watching. People were speculating because he was talking with watchers that he was Uatu. People were literally were starting to fan theorize because he's been in all of them that Stan Lee was going to cameo as a Uatu the Watcher.
Oh, that can't happen anymore, can it?
Can't happen now.
Unless they do like a treatment with the changing, like
A CGI kind of thing.
CGI thing.
No. If
Look
they,
right at all.
no, it wouldn't look right.
People would be more offended.
Yeah, I would too. But at the same time, it's just like people were speculating that he was Uatu, and that is high praise. Because Uatu, oh man, he had some great. Like he was the Watcher. He was the Watcher for Earth.
Apparently, in the House of M, there was actually 9 comic books.
Yeah, there were 9 comic books dealing with the House of M.
And the crazy thing is like each one is like it's all kind of like dealing with different parts, like it's showing like all the different heroes in each one, isn't it? Like
yeah. Why do you think I said it would take like 4 movies?
Because you got like you got X-Men, the Scarlet Witch, and what is it? The Fantastic Four. What else do you got? Obviously, with that, the Avengers and everything, but he's even more than that, isn't he?
Yeah. Another thing that they've talked about doing, this is other speculation, is so they're teasing a lot of stuff. And I gotta get going soon. It's past time for me to leave, but I'll be fine. The biggest thing they've been teasing lately, because they've been talking about the Scarlet Witch and all that. You've seen the poster for the Scarlet Witch TV show?
No, I need to look.
Okay. It's just in the poster. Okay, so they show Paul Bettany, the Vision, and they show the Scarlet Witch in sort of like a 70s, 50s, 60s, 70s kind of house attire. A sitcom kind of show.
She's wearing
Which
a lot of stuff.
But in the background, in the shadows, they show her classic Scarlet Witch outfit.
You mean the one with the thing that goes around
horns
her head?
and the horns, just that classic look. Well, people have not realized how truly powerful the Scarlet Witch really is.
Are you seeing what she almost did to Thanos?
Yeah, that's nothing. That is literally
powers are quite...
nothing.
She hasn't really tapped into her full potential, has she, in the movies?
Nope.
Or anything. What about in the comic stuff?
Once. In the full power totality, she uttered 3 words. No more mutants. She has held all of her power. The problem is
do that, didn't she?
She did it. She was the reason why the House of M happened.
Wait,
Trust me.
isn't it called One Division?
WandaVision.
It's not coming
So-
out until 2021.
Yeah, but this is the thing about Wanda and her powers. Her real totality of her powers. Well, yes, she is a mutant that wields probability. That is her power. Her power probability. One of those beings we were talking about, one of those cosmic entities, they decided to do something when she was born. Because he has to have a host or a herald kind of thing to affect our reality.
Wait,
He made
isn't
her
isn't it Cafon?
Cathone.
Cafon imprisoned with him in
Mm-hmm.
Wendigo Mountain, which was
Yes. Cathone? When she basically becomes the herald of Cathode, she can do anything she wants, and no one can stop her. Cathone is the one being in the multiverse that the entire Avengers will not mess with. I'm talking the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, Galactus, and everyone else that has ever been a hero or villain will not mess with Cathone.
oh, he'll die. So it's like he's literally like he's a demonic elder god.
Yeah. Cathone is.
Is he
Cathone
kind
is.
of like Cafon? Like in the
When you take comics, there are two beings that most heroes will not mess with. And we've already seen one of them.
which one?
In the movies. His name is Dormammu. The other one is Cathone. Cathone is stronger than Dormammu. We don't mess with Cathone. And you have to remember, like I said, Wanda is a herald. She can wield near the totality of his power if she wants to.
Is she going to free him in the movie one day?
No, I don't think so. But I think she's going to possibly use. Because remember, Vision's dead. And what really caused her mental break, the House of M storyline, was actually the death of Vision.
Yes.
So I'm thinking that the WandaVision stuff is possibly, and that's when it's a TV show and not a movie.
Is she like the ultimate villain in this?
I think she's going to be. I think she's going to be a possibly an ant. Like I don't really see it, but at the same,
like a vigilante.
yeah, like a vigilante kind of. She doesn't realize she's doing wrong, but at the same time, she's like, I don't care, kind of thing. Because, so like, Vision is the love of her life, even though he's a robot.
Yeah, what happened to Vision in that?
Remember, it's not just that Vision died that broke her. It's Vision died in front of her.
Yeah, she saw it.
After she saw it. Because she killed him. Thanos snapped him back with the Time Stone. And then Thanos killed him.
Yeah. It was like, he was safe at one point, wasn't he? And then...
Yeah. I mean, they thought they had saved her. She thought she had killed the man she loved with her powers. And then Thanos goes and says, yeah, no. Reverse time.
So,
Plunk,
is this gonna,
you're dead again.
So is this gonna we're gonna get to see go insane because of the
I
death?
think so. I think we're gonna see her fall to the House of M level of insanity.
So it's called Wonder Vision. Is it called? Is it because you
It, I, it, I don't know, but I gotta get going because I gotta go. So I will talk with you later.
see ya?
Bye.
Have a good one.
I'm gonna get going too.
Hey, no problem, sir.
See you, man.
See you. Well, looks like it's just us now. Okay. Well. Let's see. Hopefully this person hits the okay for the quest here. Do. Let's make sure my mag is ready to go. 19%. Wee. I love how I'm the lowest level one here. Wait, do we have a summoner? I guess we did. Ow. Ooh, level 33. And level 20 on my subclass. Awesome. Should probably go to the other side, huh? Where is everybody? Oh, everybody's leveling up, holy cow. It's not over yet. But yeah, we got one more big thing to kill, don't we? There's our rare. This is new. Oof, that looks like it hurts. Dude. Okay then. Don't stand in that. Oof. What am I supposed to be attacking here? Nice. Brace for shockwave. Boom. Rare drop. I love rare drops. Ooh. Rare sword. Oh, last survivor. I have one of those already. Another rare special weapon. Nice. Perfect. I love seeing that X rank. Boom. Six points, 4 points. Just is it room? Some cool artwork though. Ooh. I like that one. It's a Dark Knight sword. Final Fantasy Dark Knight sword. Ha! Deathbringer. Two-handed sword used by Dark Knights. That is awesome. Hephaestus. Fairy Tale. Sega. I'll get it. I swear, I'll get it. Oh, 3 times. Oh, okay. I gotcha. Ah. I could probably sit here all day and do this, honestly. Oof. That's pretty. How is this place so freaking big? I got a tiny ass little room. It's a bird. Oh god, it's loud in here. Nice. I love the posters. The posters are really neat. Oh, it's E button for this. Ah. Whoops. So I'm gonna guess that's your reaction time. Try challenge. Challenge mode? Yeah, challenge. Which mode? I have normal, hard, and very hard. Oh, jeez. Oh no, I gotta get this one. Boom. I, so when I go in there, it's challenge, high scores, return. Challenge, normal, hard, very hard, high score, and return. Yeah, that's the one I just did. Ah, too early. Oh, yeah. 0.049 seconds? Seriously? Oh, jeez. Yeah, I highly doubt I'm going to be able to get 0.049 seconds, where my average was somewhere around 0.35. Yeah, there's no way I'm going to get that one. No way. Oh god, it's so loud now. So many voices. Why? Stop telling me to buy your stuff. Oh geez, this chick is just angry and wants me to buy all the stuff. Ooh, fireworks display. That's cool. Fist Android girls. This is pretty neat. I need to find a way to get a bigger room for myself. Oof, I'm a fat boy, but I'm also a robot. Alright, well, I think I'm gonna call it a night for the stream. And get on out of here. Thanks, everybody for joining me today. And I'll probably be back this weekend for a D&D. I will hopefully get my camera fixed. And it's going to be from a hotel room this time around, since I will be in Seattle for the weekend for work, instead of my hometown of Pittsburgh. So hopefully, you guys can check out my D&D stream, and that'll be at 6 o'clock Pacific time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard. So wherever you fall in between there, come check us out. If you want to, the past videos are up on the YouTube channel. YouTube is, if you just search Sora Oberon, all one word, on YouTube, you should be able to find the channel. And hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you later.